Yeah, I'm talking about the black
See,
swan too.
No, there
dumb
was no
people
black
fall for
swan.
FE, and then the smart people are fascinated by why they fell for FE, and then they
Look,
think
I'm
it's
Right.
talking
evidence
about
of
the
the
Well,
what
I
does
mean, average
conspiracy.
people are fascinated too. Even
the
I
black
think.
Not,
swan.
yeah,
What does the black
not
swan
so.
do? It
Regular people
shows
have.
that the
What
physical
does the black swan do? It nothing. It what it is a monkey duck.
no, it shows that the physical geometric
It does
horizon
no, it doesn't.
has
It does
ruined your
none of
globe.
that.
Well, where'd you
It
come back
doesn't.
from that?
So I
I
mean,
mean,
that's the verdict. You're not.
Chemo.
You
We
just
we already know
falsify.
the geometric horizon is it would be if there is no atmosphere. Guess what? The
oh, I
black
mean,
swan
again,
doesn't do
because we're not
anything because
live.
hold on, sir, chemo.
Go on.
What the black swan shows is that refraction can move can make an apparent horizon
Yeah.
given certain circumstances appear farther than it should be. Congratulations, you validated refraction.
Yeah.
Round of applause,
No,
everyone.
look
Round of
again.
applause.
Look,
Chemo
we're not.
validated
We're
Chemo,
not.
refraction.
We're
the
not
same thing,
live. We're not
chemo.
live. We're just.
Chemo. 1 second.
Yes.
It's the same thing for when you're gigging for fish, right? You gig under the fish, excuse me, because the fish is there. It's a real fish. You do find out by when you actually spear the fish, so you know that was a real fish, not some fake fish. But apparently, it's in a different position. So refraction makes a real thing that is there and is real look like it's in another position. So this is the same. You apply that same logic to the horizon. The horizon is real. It is there. It's just an apparent position because of the refraction. Same with the fish. You're
Look,
still going to stick a spear in the friggin' horizon.
look. We're not having a. We're not discussing that now. We're just. All of that is not. No one's going to buy all that nonsense.
That made too much sense.
Yeah, look, we're not having
There
a
we go.
debate now. All I'm
It did.
explaining is no one's going to buy that refraction argument. You know, at the end of the day, the horizon's not physical. So because the horizon's not physical, again, I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining the situation of why. Because remember that guy? We had a guy.
I mean, I don't think you even believe your own bullshit anymore.
Well, again, I like to have.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time,
I know.
There's no
I
need to
had
get
to mute because
stressed.
I got a laugh out of
There's no need
chemo.
to
It's not every day you get me, dude, but you got me giggling on that one.
no need to abuse you guys and call you guys names. I mean, that could happen, Damon, but
No,
you
that
don't
would be
want that.
weird. Yeah,
You
because
know
you're
what
in a
you
weird
need is
position to call people
an arm
names.
around the shoulder, pretty much like guidance of where you're going
Not
to go
legit.
next. Because the flat Earth has annihilated any idea of I mean, the whole vacuum next to a gas pressure. Yeah,
It reminds me of Pee Wee Herman when he wrecked his bike really terribly in front of all the people, and then he jumped up and was like, "Haha, I meant to do that."
yeah.
You know, like that's chemo right now. You just crashed your bike really badly, man, and you're getting up like you did all that on purpose.
Well, I mean, the mockery comes
Oh,
in.
when Pee Wee Herman left the bar on that fucking Harley,
Look, the mockery comes in
Yeah,
he
thick and
man.
crashed the bike and he
fast.
was like,
But the mockery is not going to prove the ball at the end of the day. It's just going to show that's all you guys have, and what we have is science behind us, which is one of the most powerful things to have. And I think that's what the people, because what we need is the people to wake up. They're asleep, and the only way to wake them up is obviously with a bit of science. Show them.
You sing them a flat Earth lullaby, right? So that they can argue with flat Earth and then not even pay
They
attention
eat it up. They lap it up.
to
The public are
not to the
very
non-testing of the
receptive to the.
vaccine and
They're very
the side
receptive to the
effects
truth. They
and the
love the
COVID
truth.
I never
lockdown,
hear
and
flat Earth
the
in public
suicides, and
ever.
yeah,
What you
and the
say there,
suicides,
Operation Pink
and the
Moon?
and the.
What you say there? Grim, share the mic
I
with
said,
your
I
global.
don't hear
I
like the
said I've
flat earthers.
never heard
Oh, sorry.
of flat Earth outside of the internet. Like everyday people, like I've never heard people talk about it. So I have no
Because
clue
it's
what
a
you're talking about.
very
Yeah,
small
I mean, there's a
fraction
lot of
people.
ground to cover. A lot of ground to cover. I mean, there's only a small group of us, Operation Pink, as you've heard. There's only a handful of us, small group, who know what they're talking about.
that one.
And what?
But a real
Yep,
thing that
that's it.
happens is plasma hurricanes, and I bet even a smaller amount of people have heard of those.
So, Operation, I mean, imagine if this lockdown had never happened. We would have had the
What's
Globe
that?
Light Tour in America. We were coming to America. I was coming to America.
Oh, the tattoo.
Yo, you
There's
got a
an
hot
anarchy
mic.
symbol.
Years.
Yo, you're hot micing.
It's only It's only been a year since lockdown.
Yo,
What
hold
happened
on,
to
hold
the
on.
rest of
Pure's
the
The
talking.
year?
anarchy is it's a political view, kind of.
Yo,
That's
Hot mic.
to different people means different things.
he wasn't talking to us, was he?
No,
I don't know.
he wasn't. Nobody asked him that. It was outside. I heard it
Oh,
on his own mic. Somebody talking to him. So
So, I mean, Operation Pink Moon, I mean, look, you can stamp your feet, you can scream, you can shout, but there's not really much you personally can do to prove. I mean, you can just say, well, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But in terms of, like, look at this, look what I have, look what I've done, to show that you want a ball that's spinning, flying through space, you just won't be able to do any of that. Now, again, you know, you're surrounded by people who believe in this narrative. But if that's all that's holding you back, you know, that's showing that you're pretty weak. You can't think for yourself. You know?
no. I think
sorry, excuse
you're
me.
pretty gullible because you
Yeah,
believe all the conspiracies. Like
possibly,
all
possibly. But
of
I'm looking for
them.
someone like
It's
you
not
who
my
knows.
fault.
Well, I'm looking for someone like yourself who knows the truth, who has the answers. Not someone who just believes what they've seen on television or read in a magazine or in the paper or because somebody else said so. So what do you have to prove that the Earth is
What
spinning?
do you have? Because there's no amount of evidence that can be brought to you because you made it up in your mind that you're not going to believe it. So there's no point. So my question is, why do you expect people to give you all that evidence, but you've never, not once, given any kind of evidence?
Well, I mean, if I make claims,
You
obviously,
can,
then I would provide evidence.
but you're
But
making claims.
what's the claim?
You're claiming that Earth is flat, so you need to prove it. And I see all this evidence for the globe, but I see nothing for that flat. So I'm like, what are
Huh.
you doing here?
So when we say measures flat, water measures flat, there's never been drop from the horizontal plane that's been referenced. So what we're
But
looking
just
for,
saying it doesn't make it true.
well, that's what we're saying. We've never been able to establish who has measured this drop. No one's ever done this. The idea, water is horizontal. That's how builders, workmen, water level, right? Normal. Because it's horizontal.
Okay.
Oh, pure, because you were hot micing. They was telling me to mute. I was saying back there. But, I mean, again, it's like...
Okay, well, no,
Like what? Did say pure hot mic.
well,
Hey,
somebody could have said something,
you
and
did.
I did, man. I said it over and over again.
We were
I was like,
telling
hot
you.
oh,
mic,
my
bro,
bad,
hot mic.
Grim. I didn't hear you.
Because you were hot
Yeah, I was
micing,
telling
that
you.
was the point. You were talking to somebody
I
else.
think you were probably
But
even
my
muted,
fucking
and
earpiece was in, and it stayed in the entire time I was in the store. So
that's
I
weird.
just
It's like you
simply didn't
muted
hear him.
yourself. Yeah, and you somehow deafened yourself or something, but we could still hear you. That shit
Oh, my
happens on my
bad.
phone. Yeah, it's no big deal. We just heard you like started with the, oh, it's anarchy. That's the tattoo. Yeah, it stands for, and then you
Oh,
were going
okay.
and
So
going.
it happened when I was at the register, and I pulled my
Yeah,
wallet out. It clicked it.
yeah, no worries.
No, yeah, the guy was asking about my tattoo.
So, Operation Pink Moon.
We
I'm
know.
sure you've heard of, we don't have to give you a model. All we have to do is to show that your idea.
No, actually, you do. You do.
Yeah.
Why do we? It's independent of
Be-
replacement.
How do you
Because
know
if you're saying that the heliocentric model and
Mhm.
everything going along with it doesn't work and it's fake, then you need to present us with a model because
Right.
actually
You're saying,
everything in the heliocentric model actually
Patrick,
But
holds up as truth.
falsification,
Well,
pure.
what about
Patrick,
evidence
Falsification
that
is independent
disproves
of
the globe?
replacement.
God damn it.
Falsification, pure, is independent of replacement,
It's
right?
Chemo, it's like saying this. It's like saying, look, I see your roadmap, to wherever. And I don't think that's a good roadmap. I'm gonna go this way, and then we go, okay, where's your map? And you go, well, I don't actually have a map. This is
Exactly.
exactly what it's like,
Mhm.
dude. And we're like, well, why are we gonna follow?
No,
you?
we're just proving your map wrong. We're just showing you that your map is wrong, but we're not going to make up another false
But I
map
keep-
to replace that
But
one.
I
Yes,
keep getting there on my
Orion.
map over and over
Welcome,
again. I keep
welcome,
getting there.
Orion.
So
Whoa,
how
whoa,
is my
whoa,
map
No,
whoa,
that's
wrong?
my point. You're not. That's our
Don't
point. Is
steamroll
that
him, Grim.
your map says it's curved. We're testing to
Oh,
see if
are
it's
we?
curved, and it's not
Well,
curved.
no, actually,
But it is.
so it's
GPS
measurably
really works
curved.
very
And
well.
Guys,
our
one at a
our-
time.
sir,
One ball at a
not
time.
not but. I wasn't fucking finished. Our map gets us from point A to point B every fucking time. It's been measurably curved for over 200 fucking years by geodetic surveyors. You haven't
Mhm.
you haven't falsified anything. You can keep saying water measures flat, but none of y'all fucking done it when actually bodies of water have been geodetically surveyed.
So how
And
far
your
away
pilot
can you
leaders
see a
have tried it,
lighthouse?
and then
If you're
all they could say was,
Grim.
well,
We
that's
can't look.
interesting.
Let's. We're gonna have a conversation now. So let's not do that. Let him respond, Grim. Okay. Go ahead,
Right,
Ryan.
that's interesting.
Ryan, you can respond yet.
Oh, well, yeah, I was just going to ask him, like, well, I mean, how far away can you see a lighthouse if you're 100 feet above the surface of the ocean and the lighthouse is 100 feet above the surface of the ocean?
It depends
How
where that
far? My
lighthouse
question is, oh, okay, so let's say 60 miles away. Can you see it over 60 miles?
Okay, that isn't
Yes
what
or
I
no?
said. So it
It
depends.
depends on where it is.
Sir,
Can you
why
specify
don't you
that?
let me fucking answer instead of getting 3 goddamn words in and interrupting? Lighthouses are set on elevations. So depending on the elevation above sea level that lighthouse is going to determine how fucking far away you can see it.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that's
my
a
question to
good
you
answer.
is, now that we've
You want
established
to
that...
give me some just irrelevant numbers and say it's
No.
X amount of feet
I just
fucking
want to
tall?
give you
And
a very
can you see 60 miles away?
irrelevant numbers. I'm giving you a basic hypothetical, okay? And we can look
No,
this
it's
up
too
You
basic.
didn't
on
you,
Google to
right.
see if this
You
is
didn't
possible or
respond to
not.
what I said.
It
You
was too
responded
basic.
with a fucking question.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was too
well,
basic because you
anyway,
didn't give a measurement of the height of the actual lighthouse. All you did was say the observer was 10
Can
foot.
you see 160 miles
no,
away?
I said they're both
Depends.
100 feet above the surface of the ocean.
You didn't
Both the
fucking say
lighthouse.
that.
No, you didn't.
You didn't say that at
Well,
all.
maybe I cut out. I don't know, man. It's Discord. What? I'm saying it now.
No,
A
no, he
hundred.
So you hear me now?
He didn't
So
say that.
100
I
foot.
did. I caught that.
100
Yeah.
foot lighthouse, and you're 100 feet.
Yeah,
Can you
on
see
a
it
hill
60
next to
miles
the
away?
shore.
I don't know. I
You
could
don't
run
know?
the numbers, but I'm driving. I could run the numbers
No,
and
no,
find
wait.
out.
When you say run the numbers, you mean use a curvature calculator?
Yeah, to see if it should be seen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You do that. Do that, please. Or
I
I
said
can
I
just
could
tell
do
you the
that, but
number.
I'm
Do you
fucking
want me to
driving,
tell you
so-
the number? So wait. Do you want me to just tell you the number? So we
You can.
cut okay.
Yeah, without
It's
refraction, tell us the number.
It's 0.45 miles of curvature over 60 miles. So that's a lot more than 100 feet. So my question is to you, can you see that lighthouse on a clear night with a telescope?
From the deck of a ship 60 miles away.
Not in a vacuum.
Well, not from a
with
ship,
atmosphere.
from the shoreline to stationary point.
Okay, lighthouses are seen typically from
Yeah, I know they're typically seen from ships, but I just
Yeah,
want
no
to
shit,
make
Sherlock.
sure that there's no... I don't want to get into the weeds about technicals here, okay? It's just much more basic if we're not a moving observer, okay? You understand that?
You're always a moving observer. What the fuck are you talking about? Unless
I'm
you're standing
talking
still.
about standing next to the ocean on a hillside. Do you understand that?
So you're 100 feet above the height of the observer is 100 feet, and the lighthouse, the top of the lighthouse is 100 feet.
Yes.
That's a very low lighthouse, which they do have. I'm pretty sure they have a couple.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah,
can
they
you
have
see it?
some
No,
like
you
that.
won't. You won't see it. You gonna
Okay,
tell me
now
where you-
can you do me a... Now,
gonna tell me where?
according to your glory, would you say that Google would be the one to determine whether or not this is possible or not?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, what about DuckDuckGo? What authority would you say is reliable for saying whether or not this is possible or not?
Arbiter of truth
Yeah.
is indeed Wikipedia.
Because as far as I know, this can be observed from more than 70 miles, just a little bit beyond 70 miles is possible to make this kind of observation. So either those people are lying or you're lying.
Where?
Like I just said, Google and DuckDuckGo.com, either one.
For 20-30% of the distance.
You can show me any arbitrary fucking photo and say it was taken from X position and can be seen from 70 miles away. Doesn't make it fucking true.
Well, anyway, if it's on a ship, does that make it easier? Most of these observations are from ships, like you said.
Well, I was asking your hypothetical to fill in your hypothetical. So if it's you said 0.45 miles?
Yes. Yes. Did you hear that?
That's so is that the bulge or is that the hidden?
That's the bulge.
Oh my fucking god. Okay.
Are you doing
so what's the
curvature or
hidden?
drop?
Wait, the hidden? Can you clarify that?
It would be
so apparently you've
horizontal
never okay.
Yeah,
somebody pull up their Earth curve calculator and run these fucking numbers and find out what the hidden is.
Why?
I knew this
he's
was going to
driving.
go there.
He's driving and he can't do it.
That's the thing wrong with you? Can you not describe it?
I'm driving back to. The reason I'm not doing it is because I'm driving back to fucking Arizona. If you must know.
Well, anyway, can you describe it while you're driving?
The mountains keep coming into your view. Top first. It's weird. It's almost as if you're on a ball.
Okay, that's not an answer to whatever the hell he was talking about.
Somebody said describe what he's seeing.
The hidden is actually the curvature, not the fucking bulge.
Okay, so would you say that the hidden is, or if you want to just call it that, okay, fine. Then is the hidden 0.45 miles high?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. If somebody can pull up the Earth curve calculator.
You don't know exactly.
I'm not.
Welcome to Flat Earth. You don't know.
I'm not going to do this because I'm fucking driving.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
There's a valid reason why I'm not doing it, and I'm asking somebody to pull up the Earth curve calculator.
Pull off the road. He'd do it.
I looked it up on an Earth curve calculator.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't believe you because you called it the bulge.
Oh.
So.
How about
okay.
I look it up? Let's see.
So, Patrick, why don't you step aside for a while someone who can make their argument makes it?
I can make my argument. My argument is he's pulling random numbers out, asking fucking just random questions.
No, you want to argue facts with him, but you don't have access to them at the moment, which is fine because you're driving. But why do you need to try to argue facts when you can't back them up right now? I know you can later, but maybe you should come back and do it later when you can, and let other people, for example.
Because I can still have a conversation.
The facts. All he's presented is a bulge when he's asking for the hidden. So if the other guy can present one piece, why can't he present the other?
So distance in miles. What was the distance in miles?
60.
You said 60?
Yes.
So viewers' feet in height, you said 100 feet.
Yes.
Let's see, refractive drop, 2,057.75 feet. Let's see, refractive hidden dip is 0.164 degrees. Let's see. So 1,250.4 feet is a refractive hidden.
A little over 20% of a mile.
So you wouldn't be able to see it then, right?
So not 0.5, not 0.54.
Which is less than 20% of the total distance, which is in line with refraction index. Next.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to see it, right?
You would with refraction.
You would with refraction.
Yeah, if there was an atmosphere there, which we're gonna assume for the fucking, generality of the purpose that there is an atmosphere there, then it would be possible. Yes.
That's great. It'd be great if you could demonstrate that sort of
Oh,
thing.
what are we on Mars?
On a
Is there no real atmosphere
scale
to discuss?
somehow. Prove it somehow, but
Prove an atmosphere now? Come on.
no. Prove refraction in the way that you're magically talking about it.
Nobody's
Magic.
magically talking about it.
Yeah, you
That
are.
isn't Magic. Refraction
Bullshit.
isn't magic.
To
Refraction.
me, it would take-
Refraction is not magic. The way that he's talking about it is magic. Refraction
No,
is
it's not.
real.
No, it's
The
not.
way he's describing it is fucking magic.
So
Sorry,
how
I don't mean to cuss. My bad.
So
What
light
is
light
refraction?
bends according to the atmosphere, or according to variables in the atmosphere. A fraction of a fucking degree is magic now. Are you
No.
sure about that?
A fraction of the degree.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't understand that, but what I'm saying is the point is refraction is happening, but refraction, the way you're describing it's not happening.
Even a full degree.
How are they
What bit?
different? Point.
If the atmosphere were fiber optics, what you're saying would be true, but the atmosphere is not, the air is not fiber optics, so it's not doing what you think it's doing.
Of course it is. You can see it doing it on video.
Why it's different then?
Because
Because all we're saying
Haven't you
is
watched
that
video
fucking
of
light
refraction
bends
and
to
how the
different
beach
density,
rises and
which is the only thing anyone ever says about.
I've seen that, but you can't go over whatever
You can measure that
1,000
to
miles
at
of
least
or
20%.
1,000 feet of curvature. With that, it
20%
just
of the
doesn't work. that way.
1,000. It can't go over 1,000 feet of curvature. You realize again? I said that would be fractions of a degree, 1,000 feet over something that's 25,000 or 24,901. That is fractions of a fucking degree. Light bending over that is not magic, dude.
This is regular, man. That shit happens.
Oh, if you want to believe it, I guess.
No,
You don't
see,
have
we
to
can
believe it.
demonstrate that light
You can
bends
fucking calculate
fractions
it.
of a fucking degree. Do a laser through a laser
Full
pen through
degree.
water, dude.
Full degree, dude. What are you talking about? You can get 20%
Right.
of that distance out of it.
Point again?
At least
Well,
17% of that distance.
There's this weird assumption that there's multiple types of refraction out there, and that we're only dealing with one specific one. Refraction is refraction, bro, and that saying it's magic because it works in our model is silly.
No, just saying it's magic because it
It
works the way
actually
you
works in
described
your
that it
favor.
does.
It
There's
actually
only
works in
one
your
way to
favor.
fucking
That's what's
describe
funny.
it, dude. We're not making up some random way refraction works. It's how it fucking works.
Yeah, it actually makes the ground look a little flatter. So
The way that you're describing it would make it function like a fiber optic cable. Is that correct?
Explain what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you shine light through a fiber optic tube. Or not tube, but fiber optic cylinder. I guess it's thick.
Right?
Whatever.
It refracts through a
And-
fiber optic.
Oh, I see it. I see. So where it
and you can
bounces off the fucking walls in zigzag pattern. No,
Yeah,
actually, no. We're not describing it that way.
No, I'm not describing it that way either. Well, what I'm saying
you
is,
asked if we are.
No.
And we're telling you no.
Bouncing off a wall, whatever you just said about bouncing off a wall, I'm not talking about that. Let me finish my description. So,
then you don't know.
you shine light through a fiber optic cylinder, and let's say it's bent at a 45-degree angle, and you'll have light going out at 45 degrees that way, the flashlight that's got tape around it and held up against it. It's shining the light through that way. So even though the flashlight's pointed one direction, the light from it is going through the fiber optic cylinder and shining out another direction, 45 degrees. And you guys are basically saying that the atmosphere is doing the same thing. So my question is, how far is too far to see?
Again,
in my opinion,
we told you.
Is my question to you. So,
if you take the elevations of things and the distance of them, we find not a 45-degree angle. We find that light bends on really fucking hazy days, fractions of a degree, not 45 fucking degrees, which we know we can make
I know
now
that.
through a prism.
Yeah.
So no, we're not describing the atmosphere doing.
Okay, so I got a question for you then. All right, so I got a question for you then. So if I'm standing on a shoreline next to the ocean, and let's just say I'm 10 feet, hell, let's be safe on this. Let's say I'm 20 feet 20 feet above the surface of the ocean, so we don't have to worry about these fucking waves getting in the way, all right? And it's a calm night, and I'm up on the shoreline just a few feet away from the water, and let's say there's a target on another shoreline that I'm trying to observe. That's a light, a light, like the light you'd find in a lighthouse or something. How
I
far?
know what a fucking light is, dude.
Okay, yeah, but so how far could that shore be away from the other shoreline? That target. How far away could it be until it's impossible to see it because the curve gets in the way? My question to you.
So you're asking for the upper end range of the acceptable tolerance for what you can see due to refraction.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
You think?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You worded it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. You used some pretty big words there, but I'm pretty sure we're on the same page. Yeah. So how far can it? The point is, how far away can you see the target? Do you understand the question? How far away can you see the target until you can't see the target anymore? Is my question.
We all understand the
your
question.
target was a light, and we know that light is affected by refraction. So you're asking for the
Yeah.
upper
Okay. So yeah.
limit of
So how far
tolerance
does this?
of,
So how far does this refraction work so that the light doesn't stop from going off into space or whatever? Like eventually there's going to be a point where you can't see the light any further. So that's my question: how far until you can't see the light any further?
of the tolerance would be? Again, I don't know.
You don't know? Come on.
Well, it
Just
depends
be
on
able
the
to figure this
intensity
out.
of the
Yes,
light.
I don't know. I don't know what the upper end tolerance of refraction is.
Well, that's
I'm
very
okay with saying that.
disappointing.
If somebody
It's
else
okay not
wants
to
to
know.
answer that, no, that's an honest answer. That is the most
It
honest
is.
answer that I
I
can.
know. I
give
appreciate that. I
instead of pulling a
appreciate that
number out of my
honest
ass.
answer. I appreciate
Right.
you being honest. I want to be clear on that.
And it doesn't sway one way, in my opinion, on the argument.
It's just for a second there, for just a second, you're getting me to believe in a globe. But no.
Just a second. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, almost.
Why? Because I don't know what the highest fucking tolerance.
Well, I thought you'd be able to give me some citations. Well, yeah, I mean, I thought you'd be able to give me some citations involving what I'm describing and what you're describing. I thought you'd be able to,
I know
okay,
what I'm describing. I'm describing fractions of an inch based on these localized fucking observations. And just because I don't know, I pull a number out of my ass and give it to you and go, this is how far you should be able to see it. But refraction can make it this fucking far.
I think it was something like
I gave
2
you
degrees.
the honest answer and go, I don't know.
Or a degree
If
and a
somebody
half.
else wants to take it, go for it.
I think it was something like 1.5 degrees or 2 degrees over the
Yes,
overall
I
distance.
think that's about what it is, but I didn't want to pull a number out.
Yeah, I just didn't remember who.
So how far do you
somebody
think
else had
2
this
degrees would
argument.
be?
Depends on the distance.
Wait, when you say 2 degrees,
would be-
you mean 2
there's a lot
degrees
of
of the
factors involved.
circumference of the Earth ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is that, like 100 miles or something?
I think what were they looking over? It was 11,000 miles or some shit like that. And they were measuring from
Hey,
outer
guys.
space
I don't know.
from something behind the
Oh.
Earth or whatever. Or I can't remember the paper, but
Hello.
Everybody wants me to join the Gym Panda live stream.
Who wants you to join that?
I don't know why.
Who wants you to join that?
There's like 3 or 4 people in the chat who wants me to join it. But
Well, he's in the middle of recording a show now, so maybe it's a little not probably the best time to join it. I don't know.
Yeah, last time I joined I got muted, so I'm reluctant to join.
So just to answer that guy's question, it looks like the typical refractive index for the atmosphere air at nominal sea temperature and elevation is 1.000273. So not a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, smidgen over
So-
one.
So wait, what was that answering my question? What distance is that over the over the Earth?
Distance doesn't matter. It's just the index is how much the light will bend. So 1 is like in a vacuum, you know, there's no density change. And then anything not 1 would be the refractive index. So through air, it's 1.000273. So that's how much deviation you expect for light to go when it travels.
Okay, so can you use that to figure out how far you can see one shoreline from one shoreline to another shoreline, and
Roughly,
how
yes.
refract?
Yeah, that's what. So when
So-
we say,
so what would that be then?
When we say you use the curve calculator and you put in the k value would be that particular value, and then it adjusts what you should see based off of a starting location and an ending location.
Okay, and what would the maximum distance possible be for that?
Depends
Do
on
you
your
really
altitude.
care?
Yeah, I care. We're
But you-
debating the shape of the Earth. What the hell? What kind of a question is that?
But if you did, you just go punch it into the calculator, right? You already know the answer, and so you wouldn't be here pretending like you wanted to know the answer.
Yeah, I already did, and I came up with a different number than you guys. I don't know where you guys get these numbers from.
So
I was just going by the shape of the Earth and the curve calculator. You guys are talking fraction here, which is a whole another level of math above this one on top of it. So I'm just trying to make my way through this with you guys so I understand this.
But what's the real question you want to ask? Ask the real question, I think, instead of the one.
Yeah. The real question here. Let me. Maybe I put my words in the wrong words. Okay, so you're on a shoreline, all right, and you're just say 20 feet above the surface of the ocean, and you're just a few feet away from the water. All right, you're next to the ocean, and you're looking out at another shoreline. All right, with a target on it. That's a light bulb at night.
Yep.
So, how far away can that light bulb be where you can still see it, even though there's a curve between, you and that, but refraction allows you to still see it. At what point
that's
does
not your real
refraction no
question.
longer let you see it? Is my question to you.
That's not your real question, though, is it?
What's my real question? What the fuck kind of what's my real
I'm
question?
still trying to figure that out because you keep asking questions and people give you the answers to them. And you don't want to listen to the answer. You don't want to hear the answer.
You're not giving me a distance. I'm
What's your
asking
real
for distance. Can you give me a distance? Wait,
No, we can't.
Give
But
me
there's a
distance,
calculator. You can
please.
plug in the numbers and you can find out any of these answers for yourself if you really want to know them.
okay, well, yeah.
So
As
you
far as I know,
you obviously have another goal for being here asking these questions.
no,
right now.
I don't know your magical. I don't know your magical form of refraction. So I need you to do your mathemagic
Again,
for me.
it's not a fucking magical form of refraction. You keep
okay.
saying
Well,
that,
if it's
trying to
not, then you should be able.
console me, dude.
You should be able to give me some definite answers about this, like how far away. You guys can't even give me a distance
why?
at all. This is like, oh, Jesus saved you. Can you prove that Jesus saved my soul? No, I can't. But Jesus saved your soul. How dare you question me?
Nobody
Nothing like that.
is even giving you answers like that. You
No.
want you,
Okay.
and it was asked to you if you're asking what the upper tolerance of refraction would be, and you were like, yeah, I think that's what I'm asking. Maybe I think we're on the same page.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah, because
And
he
they
used a bunch
give-
of
they
weird
give
words
on-
I didn't
and they
understand the
give-
definition
and
of.
they
Yeah,
give-
that's what I
wow,
say.
you don't know
If he
what
uses
the
a bunch of
upper
weird words,
What is the number?
I'm not going to pretend to
Weird
know
words.
that the definition of a
What number
word.
you got?
tolerance. The
What is
upper, you really, that's a crazy word.
All right,
Reach upper word.
let's just go back to the question. What's the
and-
distance?
and
What's the
tolerance.
What is
distance?
the
I will
number
tell
you.
I will
you
tell
got?
you what
No.
you're asking for right here. So I gave you the refractive index. You say what
Okay,
is
so
the
would this be over
farthest
60
you-
miles? Could
Dude,
I see it 60
dude,
miles away?
You've been talking
70 miles away?
nonstop. You've been talking nonstop. Just listen for a moment.
No,
I gave you
All
the
right.
refractive index. You're asking what the upper tolerance.
yeah, I don't.
I would say.
Can you
based
use
off
it to give
of
me a
reading-
distance? Can you use it
based off
to give me a
of my
distance?
reading,
The typical variance is anywhere from 5 to 10%, depending on how bad or how hazy or what the atmospheric conditions are. So you can add or subtract 10% from that number that I gave you, and you will have your tolerances upper and lower. And you can plug each one of those values into the curve calculator to see.
Okay, that's great. On a clear night, low humidity. Give me the answer for that one. How far with low humidity can I see that other shoreline? Please tell me a distance.
How about this? What number did you get?
Hang on.
What number did I get?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to look it up. I know it is for 60 miles, but I have to look it up for 20 miles.
Well,
Here, you want me to look it up?
60?
0.45 miles.
Now, you got that answer, so just ask them what they got, and then you can compare it, and there.
Yeah, I did, and they said that you could see that. Okay, yeah. So you're saying you can see a lighthouse from 60 miles away? That they already conceded that. They already said yes, you can see the lighthouse from 60 miles away, but it's just due to magical form of refraction. And so I'm asking them, how far can this refraction allow me to see?
Well, first off, nobody said
about
that.
magic.
Oh.
No, they said refraction. I'm saying magical refraction because the way they're describing it is magical.
Right.
No, it's not. That would be, again,
It's
over
pseudoscience.
60 miles. It would be fractions of a degree. That light would have to bend to be able to see it.
So you
Okay,
think
That's not
you'd be
magic.
able to see
That's
it.
not magic. But you can simply take a fucking laser pointer and put it in, through glass or through a glass of water and see light bend further than that.
Yeah.
That's
You're
not
not
magic.
looking through glass and
So that's
water.
magic?
You're not looking through glass and water. Are you looking through glass and water? Are you a fish in a fish bowl? Is that what you are? Is that what you're telling me?
I didn't even say any of that.
Well, you were
But
saying
we
that,
see
oh, well,
light
look,
bend
light
further.
travels and refracts this funny way through glass and water, but we're not talking about glass and water. We're talking atmo, just the air. So
No,
it
we're
doesn't
talking
make
about
sense.
just the
Your
air. Well,
comparison
actually,
makes
you're not
diddle
talking about
squat
just the air.
sense. No sense. It makes no sense. And why can't you guys give me a distance?
Perfect
Come on.
sense.
How high up is the lighthouse that you're wanting to see?
All right, 100 feet. Let's stick to this. 100 feet.
Can we do it in meters since that's what fucking the whole rest of the world uses?
Nah, fuck the metric system. You can't use it to write a song. Fuck the metric system. You can't rhyme meters with anything. You can't rhyme kilometers with anything. You can rhyme feet and miles with lots of different words. It's not musical. Let's stick to the imperial system. So yeah, 100 feet.
Whoa.
Okay, so 100 feet, 30.48 meters.
What are you guys actually looking for?
I have no fucking clue.
Nobody has
I'm
a
trying
clue.
to. I'm trying to figure out what distance magical refraction ceases to be magical.
How high up is the observer?
100 feet.
So also 30.48 meters. Is that right? Target's 100 feet up. The observer height is 100 feet up.
Yep.
Okay. And what is your question then about this?
Can you see a lighthouse from 60 miles away?
60 miles. With standard refraction. You cannot see a thing 60 miles away if you're 100 feet tall. Oh wait, standard refraction. There we go. This is so fucking janky to use on a fucking phone.
You're trying to do this on a phone too?
Yeah.
Emo, you can stop that shit, dude. I don't come in fucking often, but I'm gonna defend myself if somebody said I said something, and you don't get to fucking mute me for that.
Yeah, it doesn't look
Apparently
like
he
you can see
does.
it 50 miles away.
So it looks like you can't see it. So now what, Orion?
Well, I guess I'll go and make sure to make that observation myself, and then I'll know for sure. You guys are full of
So
nonsense.
you're gonna give an
I'm
exact
already making
position?
plans to do that with some friends, but
It looks like
the weather
Well,
a little
make
better.
sure you know exactly how high the top of the
stop
lighthouse
being
is,
able to see
and
it.
give GPS coordinates to your elevation. That way we
You
know
stop-
where
yeah,
you are.
stop being able to see
No,
it
we're
after
gonna do a lot closer to the water. We're doing over like closer to the water, still body of water, you know.
Irrelevant. You still, if you're going to do that, don't say, "Well, I can see this 60 miles away from 1 foot," and not give your exact GPS coordinates and know exactly how high the lighthouse is because you just gave random numbers, dude.
Okay, so again, to answer his question, you stop being able to see it.
Just
after
gave
26
random
miles.
numbers like that makes a fucking difference.
Why
You
don't we
stop
just encourage him to
seeing
go
Well,
do it?
yeah, that
at
makes it makes a
26 miles.
Yeah,
very
have you
big
guys ever done
The
this?
answer has been
Why don't we just
given.
encourage him to go do it?
26 miles.
Ah.
In fact, it's 26 and a
The
half
rules of the
miles.
world, my friend.
Super,
Don't forget that.
super precise. It's 26 and a half miles. And then you can no longer see it. So there you go. There's your answer.
So okay, so yeah,
Miles
so
is
I so wait, you're saying you can't see it then at 60 miles? This thing you can't see it? That's your final answer?
26 and a half miles is when is when you can no longer see it.
Okay.
on a day
Well,
with standard
the wonderful
refraction.
people at
not
DuckDuckGo
refraction.
and Google would disagree with you.
I don't
The
see
wonderful
it.
people at DuckDuckGo and Google would absolutely positively disagree
Well,
with you
show us.
completely.
Show us.
Show us.
Well,
Show
what do
us
you mean
the
show you? Go type it in. Go see.
No,
go
no, no,
type
no,
in.
no.
How far away can I see a lighthouse?
Dude, I already not a lighthouse. Well, why don't you tell us this?
Yeah, from a ship. A lighthouse from a ship. How far away can you
fuck.
observe a
He's
lighthouse
asking
from
a
a ship?
completely different question
The
now.
only people that ever said that is what the fuck is his name? Lemonbird loves to bring him up. Robotham. Robotham is the only person that's ever made that fucking claim. And
No,
that was
I don't
like
think so.
fourth-hand fucking account evidence. Yeah.
You're asking a completely different
Hey,
question.
so let me ask you something then. I just want to ask you guys something. What have you observed or seen or anything that is what would be the most powerful thing that would lead you to conclude that you live on a globe?
I watch ships go over the horizon. I watch the sunset.
But just
lunar
pictures from
eclipses,
space.
sunrise, sunset, drop from horizontal. I mean, the list goes fucking on, dude. Just basic critical thinking skills about shapes and objects.
You said lunar
Geometry.
eclipse?
Yeah, basic
geometry.
fucking knowledge of geometry.
One of your answers was lunar eclipse, right?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Why is that the one you
Being
focus on?
retarded, that helps.
Yeah.
Well,
Why is that the one you heard?
I just have some questions about that, just to see if we have the same
Yeah, no.
kind of.
You said lunar eclipse. Fuck you.
Well, so does light
Because
travel
that would
in
out.
light travels in straight lines,
That's what you
right?
would focus on. You
Okay,
knew that
yeah,
you would focus
yeah.
on because that's the hardest thing to talk about.
Oh, that's the easiest thing to talk about because I
You
would
gave
love
him
because
out.
a lunar eclipse cast a
No.
vertical shadow and up and down shadow. So tell me, sir, how a horizontal object magically casts a vertical shadow on the fucking moon? Go for that one, please.
Because we don't know what the moon is. You already know the answer he's going to give.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I was
Is the
thinking
moon-
about something else. I was actually getting that confused with solar eclipse. My bad.
Come on.
Wait,
Answer that
what?
The moon is
Answer
a
that one,
moon?
because
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It's something in the sky that we cannot use to determine the shape of the ground. Something in the sky that we cannot use to determine the shape of the ground.
Shit. Hold on, that has nothing to do.
In my imagination, I can.
Answer the question. How
would you
does
say
a
that?
horizontal object, I'm granting you, flat
Oh yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Earth.
The answer is what you said.
Hold on,
I don't know.
sir.
I don't know, and I'm not going to make up a fairy tale for you because I'm not J.K. Rowling.
There you go. Right.
So
But
you're
every
just
observed
Go
lunar
read a Harry
eclipse
Potter book.
has
You
a-
might be able to get the
has
answer
a
from that.
shadow that goes from top to bottom, not going across from side to side. Oops.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really paid
Yeah,
much attention to that stuff.
Yeah,
But,
well, I did. I've watched two.
No,
lunar
you asked me if I had an explanation. I gave you an answer. I don't know, but J.K. Rowling might have an answer for you.
J.K. Rowling has fuck all to do with this. You say the Earth.
I know, but she writes fairy tales. That's what
you say. The Earth is flat with these two objects circling above it, and a lunar eclipse casts the Earth's shadow, a vertical shadow, when Earth is supposed to be flat.
How do you know it's a shadow? Can you confirm that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you there? Were you on the surface of the moon?
Don't have to be on the surface of the moon to watch the fucking
Oh, you
shadow
do to confirm
be cast
it.
across it.
Doesn't matter. The point is you're
I don't-
still pointing
I don't
at
have
the
to
sky,
stand-
telling me
I
the
don't
shape
have
of the
to stand under
ground.
the tree
Just so
to
you
see
don't
that
know what it
the
is. The
shadow
moon is.
is being cast on it.
If you don't know what it is, how can you?
Is there anything that you've observed from the
What is the
ground
logic
that's
behind
on the
it?
ground?
You can't look up to know what's beneath you. What is the logic behind that?
If you don't know what the
relevance-
moon is, how can you discern a shadow?
What is the
Because we're
relevance
not
of us
fucking
knowing what the
idiots.
moon is or its composition? We know it's a
No,
solid
you kind of
physical
are for
object.
the assumption.
It's not an assumption. We know it's a solid
Kind
physical
of is an
object. So
assumption.
what is the relevance of what it's composed of? As
If
far
I
as
said it was made out of
being-
cheese, could you prove to me that it's
You
not
don't
made
know
out of
what that
cheese?
exactly
If it was
is,
made out
therefore
of
assumption.
If it was made out of cheese, radar would still bounce off of it and return back to Earth. So again, irrelevant.
What
So
is
your
bouncing?
point? What is your point when you say we look up at the sky and we can't use that information to tell what's beneath us?
His point is confusion.
Well, they hate that because of being able to corroborate. Excuse me, be able to corroborate your line of latitude using Polaris. So they said you can't use geometry and you can't use Polaris because it's in the sky
Anyone
as a
really know
reference
what
point for
Polaris
your
is?
How
triangle.
much you guys are struggling to prove the point?
So hard,
We're
man.
not struggling with anything, Weimer. If you're
You're
struggling to understand,
struggling
that's your
bad.
issue, not ours.
It's a
Okay, let me
huge
ask you
We
guys
debate.
all
Shouldn't
know
even
what
be
we're
happening.
talking about, Weimer. If you don't, that's not our problem.
And no, it's serious. This debate shouldn't even be happening. That's how
You
easy
aren't
it should be
serious.
to
You've never
provide
been
evidence.
serious in your fucking life.
It's the truth.
The evidence has been provided.
Okay, so-
We can't help it.
Not
that
really.
you
Look, you're on here
ignorant
arguing and
motherfuckers
screaming
ignore.
because guess what? It doesn't add up.
No, it does add up.
Oh,
and
it
if you're
does
too
add up.
stupid to see it, that's not our problem.
This argument wouldn't be
the
happening.
angle to Polaris corroborates with the line of latitude that I'm on every fucking time.
Now,
And I
this
can
argument
use,
is proof.
and I can use Polaris as a reference point for that triangle to show that the base of that triangle actually curves.
Can't use it to determine the shape of the ground, though.
Yes, I can. Because I can do it from the North Pole all the way to the equator, and then I can turn around and use Sigma antennas and go all the way to the fucking South Pole.
So my question for you is, how did we find the radius the first time around?
Go to the South Pole. You've never been there. No one has.
What is your reason for why we can't?
People have all the time.
No one has, because it's not a real place. It's just outward, not the bottom.
There.
Who's been there?
Stupid to say. What is your reasoning for why we can't use
Many people.
Evil Santa Claus. Evil Santa Claus lives
Who
there.
knows who they are? Just some people.
The good Santa Claus lives at the North Pole. Ain't that right, Globers?
Yeah.
Again, what is your reasoning for why it's not usable and practical, since we've done it for literal centuries?
What?
Can't go to the South Pole. No one's ever been there, and you're saying it exists.
I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't use it for general navigation, but you cannot use it to determine the shape of the ground. No, not at all.
No, I
you have to be a
actually
fool
can,
to
and I
think that.
literally just
Navigate.
told you
Hang on,
how.
hang on. Why can you use it to navigate the surface of the object you're on, but you can't describe the object you're on using that navigating purpose? What, how?
How is that not something you can directly
Because you
derive?
have to measure the surface of the object that you're standing on in order to know the shape of it. So it's like
Well,
here,
you would
wait,
think
hold on. Let me give you an example here.
Nothing to hold on. You don't understand simple math. It's cool, man.
Whatever.
We understand. You
So-
don't get it.
So I got a very good
we understand it
example
breaks your
here.
brain to think about this. We get that. We're sorry for you.
So if you're lying down face up on your kitchen table and you're looking at the light above your dining room, can you look at the dining room light from your kitchen table and then use that information to determine the shape of the kitchen table?
If you think that's a good analogy, that says more about you than it does about us.
Oh no, that's a horrible analogy.
Is that a yes or a no?
It's the analogy is stupid,
good
and if you don't
answer.
see that, that's your problem, not ours.
We'll say no, that we can't use your kitchen light to tell the size of the table. But I will tell you one thing. If the size of your table is the size of the room, and you traverse your table and you notice that the light above you is no longer a circle, it's more of an oblong shape, then yes, you can.
Wow, you guys are grasping for straws.
The only person grasping for straws is the person creating very, very horrible analogies. And again, I can
what
hold
fucking
on,
pisses me
sir.
off?
Listen to what I'm telling you, because I actually have done this. I confirmed my line of latitude with the angle to Polaris. What I can do, if I wanted to take the time off work, but I'm not going to, is go up through Canada and get use the North Pole as one point, my location as a second point, and the angle to Polaris for a third one. And I can start going north to south and plotting those on graphs. All right? And I can do that.
Why would you do that?
To the equator? Because I can determine what the shape of below me based on that. Because we know the angle to Polaris corroborates and matches your line of latitude every step of the way.
So if you had two dining room lights over your dining room table, does that mean that you'd be able to figure out the shape of the dining room table by looking up from the dining room table if you had two chandeliers?
That's a horrible analogy again. Try another one.
That's exactly what you're describing.
An analogy that actually
No, it's
That's
not.
different.
No, it's
This
not.
is a
I
smaller
said I used
scale.
the North Point. I said the North Pole, which isn't a fucking light. It is a location. The angle, myself, which is another, not light, and the angle to Polaris being the third point of that triangle. And I can plot that going and taking measurements to the angle to Polaris every fucking 60, 70, 80 miles.
Okay.
And my line of latitude will match that angle every time, all the way to the equator.
So is there any way that we can measure the ground from the ground, only looking at the ground?
Yes, it's called geodetic surveying. Been doing it. People have been doing that for about 200.
Describe to me that.
Oh, fuck me.
Dude, I am not going through geodetic surveying with you.
Checklist of
Can any of you do it? Come on, you guys are so smart.
No, I have. I work with geodetic surveyors on federal contracts and all kinds of stuff, but I am not going to go through geodetic surveying with you just to ignore it.
Yeah, you've ignored every point we brought up about
conversation buster. That's
So
what
why
Eagle
would we
does for a
continue
job
answering
every
questions
day.
when you flat out refuse all of the answers?
You're probably not doing anything else.
You're a robot.
Oh, I thought that was me. That was him. That's him roboting.
No,
for
it's
him.
him. Good. Yeah, I was wondering too.
You're roboting, and you're making just as much sense roboting as not.
He's making more.
Domo gato, Mr.
Dude, if you were
Roboto.
genuinely interested in geodetic surveying, I wouldn't have no problem taking you to another room and explaining it. But I'm not for you to ignore it, because I've worked in the construction field.
Forget that
for 20
geodetic
years.
surveying already assumes the R value.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it
They do
doesn't.
fucking angles. They do 90-degree angle observations.
Exactly.
Zero R value whatsoever.
Exactly. Really, they use 90-degree values and they assume
They already have the R value in the programming.
Oh, so they already have it. It's not assumed. It's already known.
Yeah, it's already in
Damn.
it. It's already in it. It's assumed. They
No,
put
it's
it in.
not assumed. It's been confirmed.
Confirmed by whom?
Confirmed by the one made before that.
Literally,
The,
anyone that's ever fucking measured the earth ever.
Religious priests?
Priest? There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Joey. So again, you say something's assumed even though it's not assumed.
I can give you three
And you
reasons
can
why it's assumed.
and you can actually and guess what? You don't have to do it in a program. Actually, you can do the fucking run the numbers yourself.
I can't.
Yeah. So hey, flat Earth dummies, if you are given a simple formula and you say, well, we can just assume any number and it'll work, right? And you plug in a number value, and it turns out that every time you do that, you're fucking wrong. You don't get the right answer. You don't get anything that purports with reality. You can't do anything with this equation.
can you start this over? You're not making sense.
It's really fucking easy. So our R value, the one that you say we assume, it works for every measurement that we use it for. So again, if you have an equation and you plug in a value and the value fucking works and it matches reality.
Wait, every measurement you use it for? Like what? Give me an example. What are you talking about?
Rocket science, survey.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so rocket science, yes, it works for that. But how do you find the R value to begin with? How do you find the R value to begin with?
The R value, so do you know simple fucking geometry?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know how to get an R value from a circumference?
Wait, what's an R value
yeah,
in this situation?
Sure, but how did you get the R value?
Wait,
I
what
know,
is
but
the R
describe me the
value?
process of
Can someone
measuring
define an
the
R value right now?
curvature of the Earth.
I'm confused.
So you got the
What is
radius, you got the
what is definition
circumference.
of an R value?
It's from the center of a circle to the outside of a circle.
That's not an R value. That's a radius. What's an R value?
Isn't that what we're talking about? The radius?
No.
No, that's not what the
Okay,
R value is.
What? Then what are we talking about? Hello?
The R value, as far as I understand it, when they're talking about refraction, has nothing to do with necessarily. It's a refraction index.
Yeah.
Yeah, the R value in geodetic surveying is the refractive index because they go out and do upwards of 72 measurements in different conditions to get an average to call one measurement an actual measurement.
Yeah, how did they figure out it's a sphere to begin with?
Shut the fuck up. And it actually has nothing to do with the radius.
Okay, but how do they find the radius?
Well,
they don't.
so hold on, just for a second. Hold on.
Measuring
Hold on.
the angles of the
You've been
triangle.
Using R value with radius for this entire time, haven't you? You thought they
Yes,
meant
they-
the same
yes, he
thing,
has.
haven't you?
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess so. That's I don't know.
I know,
Never learned the
I know.
refraction math. Okay, but you guys are too lazy or stupid to explain it to me for some reason. That's just really strange.
No,
Very
it has nothing to do with
inconsistent.
being too lazy. You're the one assuming shit. You don't know anything.
I'm not assuming a
about
ball.
surveying.
You guys are assuming a ball.
Dude, you're the one assuming that the R and surveying meant radius, and it doesn't.
Yeah, and I already told you earlier that as far as your refraction math go, I already conceded that I don't even know that. So I was kind of just going by whatever the hell you guys are saying.
So what does the radius have to do with 90-degree angles?
Wait, what?
What?
What does the radius have to do with 90-degree angles? What are we talking about?
Yes. We're talking about surveying.
Can you elaborate that question? Can you extend that question?
It's
to
very
make it a little more
simple.
detailed?
You said that certain geodetic surveying assumes the radius of the Earth. So I'm asking you, when they go out and do these measurements.
Well, technically, Job said that, but I didn't disagree with him. But yeah.
They don't assume, they calculate the radius of the Earth.
When are you going to realize he's just treating you like monkeys and you're just jumping through the hoops? He's not going to listen to any of it. He's going to keep having questions. He's not going to listen to you.
That's true.
Keep having questions as long as there's no damn answers. Like, how far is too far to see?
You wouldn't accept the
far is
answer
too
if
far
it
to
crawled
see
up
the
your
light?
ass and went out your mouth.
Were you this angry when you found out Santa
There's
Claus
no
wasn't
limit to
real?
how far you can see.
I was.
There is no
I was
limit?
actually.
There's no limit to how
I
far
was-
you can see?
No, there's no.
There isn't really a limit, no.
So...
Nope.
We can see
Okay,
stars.
then.
We can see stars from a long, long ways away.
Oh, wait, you're talking
They're
about,
pretty far away.
up in the sky. You're not saying...
Well, when you're looking out, you're looking at the sky anyway. So
yeah, I'm talking about looking, in front of you.
We'll ask a proper question.
in front of me, I can see stars that are near the horizon, light years away.
Okay, so
not looking
so
up.
how far would? Okay, let me ask the question a different way. How far would be too far to see a shoreline from another shoreline?
A specific object. Okay, that requires light bouncing off of that and then reaching your eye.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends who's blocking us.
Who knows?
Huh?
Yeah, if there's a building in the way, not very far. You can't see through the building.
Yeah, I know, but I said over water, like one
Okay,
shoreline
water.
to another shoreline, over water.
Yeah, you were talking about a
Who
light
knows?
there. We know.
Wait, you said who knows?
Yeah. How
I
would
said
you know?
we know. You were talking about a light on a shoreline. Out,
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the upper end of the refractive
So
index?
can you guys just
that would
help
be
me understand
acceptable.
this a little bit better? Like, how far could you see that,
could,
and
but
then
you don't
maybe
want
a
us to
few
help you.
feet after that, or a few miles after that, you can't see it?
No, we could help you if you wanted help, but you don't. So no, we can't.
You're not giving me any distance. I've asked this question like so many different times
you
in so
don't
many different ways, and
really
you're not
care.
giving me any distance.
No, you
You're
keep
right, here's
asking
an
it the
answer.
same
Here's
way.
an answer.
Which is,
Here's an answer.
Oh.
If it's over water, it would be too far to swim.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I guess.
And that's as accurate as your question demanded. So,
too far to swim. So how far would that be?
for fuck's sake. Are you serious?
He is,
Yes,
unfortunately.
I'm serious,
how many
dude.
chucks could a woodchuck
Seriously
chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That's about the coherentness of your question.
Yeah, but at least you could give an actual answer. You could say, 1 metric
Dude,
ton.
There are Earth curve calculators out there that all you got to do is plug the numbers into, and you can have all your answers.
Yeah,
But
that's not really an answer. Like
You
that's
want
just a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper. I'm asking for like an actual, like, somebody's made this observation and
No,
then
that-
not been able to make
You're
this
looking to
That's
boost
an
your
observation.
answer.
ego right now.
Just because it's not a satisfactory answer to you doesn't mean it's not an
Yeah,
answer.
Math and magic is not.
But all any of us would do is go to that.
Oh, here
All
we
any of us would
go.
do is go to one of those calculators, plug in the numbers that you can plug into, and tell you what they read. We can read them for you if you're incapable of reading. But I'm doubting you're incapable of reading, and so still leaves the question of what do you really want right now?
Well, money, man. That's what I want.
Because
Yeah,
clearly you
$1
can't be
million.
asking us to go to this page and plug in these numbers for you and read you the answer. That can't be what you want.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to really proceed forward. Hey, what do you guys, what would you say is the biggest lie you've ever been told?
Nice change of topic when you ask what you really want.
Flat Earth is a reasonable.
You guys aren't giving me any
Homeless-
distance or
is that-
anything.
is
I'm
that
not going to
homeless?
ask the question again. I'm not going to ask you for the distance again.
No,
but you could tell me what you really want.
What?
Yeah. Or
You could tell me what you really want.
Have you just been given a script to run down or something?
No. What?
Well,
So
you
what do you
sound
really
like
want,
I'm
man?
talking to you
I'm
guys.
asking you, man to man, person to person. What do you really want right now?
put the list. Put the.
At the moment, I was just going to ask that question because I thought we just changed to some other, I don't know, topic. Like, what is the biggest lie you've ever been told before? What did you say?
But
Who
you logged onto a Discord
was responsible
server.
for 9/11 or something like that, or what?
You logged into a Discord server in order to get something for yourself right now. What was that? What do you want from this?
Oh, it's just that there was nobody talking in the other one I was at.
And so you needed to go be the center of attention somewhere and interact with people. It sounds like what you're saying.
Center of attention, man.
It sounds to me that's what you're doing. Am I wrong?
You're not listening to
No,
anything
but
we're
if you want to
saying.
project something stupid on me, feel free to project something stupid
I'm
on me.
asking you the question that you don't want to answer.
No, I don't want to be the center of attention. I want to know some proof for the globe. I want to believe. Oh, please, just help me believe that I live on a globe.
No, but you don't really, don't you?
You're just being dishonest now. You're just being dishonest now. You don't want that at all. You don't believe that at all.
I don't believe that I want to believe that I live on a globe.
Do you want to have an intellectually honest
You definitely don't
conversation
want to believe that.
about critically thinking about the shape of the Earth? Then would you like to do that?
I don't know. You guys were talking some magical refraction bullshit. I don't know. Yeah,
Nobody has.
Physics, just talking geometric shapes.
Yeah, sure. I'm listening. Go on. Say what you want to say.
Here we go. Do you know what a plane is, and do you know what a shape is?
A plane, as in like a plane of existence, an airplane. What are you talking about?
A two-dimensional plane.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you agree we live in 3D reality? So 3 dimensions.
Yes.
Perfect. So two-dimensional plane, not in the running. Right?
Yeah.
Good. So everything in reality has dimensionality. You know, length, width, height. You know, or depth, whatever you want to call it. Do you agree that what we live on right now has dimensionality?
Sure. Yes.
Perfect. Do you agree that nothing in physical reality can have an infinite or can be measured as infinite?
That is a tricky one.
I think no.
You don't agree, or you don't think it's possible?
Well, and I think the honest answer, the real answer is I don't know, because, yeah, the answer is I don't know.
That's fine. Honest is fine. We can clarify. So infinite is a concept used in mathematics primarily. There has been no, and I will say this, there has been no empirical evidence to suggest anything in our reality that is physical is infinite. To do so would have some pretty heavy connotations associated with it. So to our understanding, nothing currently in existence that we're aware of that is physical is infinite. Can we agree with that?
Hey, Ned, let me ask you a question about that, because I'm actually genuinely curious. So, is science and math saying that the expansion of the universe can't be infinite?
To my knowledge, it is not. How do I put this? So, space in and of itself can be considered infinite because we've never seen a border, an edge, right? But as far as a physical thing, nothing that we are aware of currently. Again, this is just to my best of my knowledge.
Right. No, that's fine. I'm
infinite.
We're not. You know, science can fucking change later, and I ain't gonna go back and go. Cool. That's
come on. Distract. Move on.
So
I'm not distracting. I actually had a genuine question by somebody that might know something a little more than I do.
No, it was a distraction. It was a distraction.
Right. So anyway.
No, it wasn't a distraction. It's a good question. He can continue now.
Yeah, but so can we agree that for this, and specifically for this example also, that physical objects in our reality, they cannot be described as infinite. It is a concept that we use for mathematics primarily, but as far as actual physical objects, infinite is not something that is observed. Not saying it's not possible, but you know, invisible unicorns, I guess, are technically possible, but we've never observed it, so we can safely say
you absolutely can observe infinite. There are an infinite number of ways that you can divide, for example, a line or a string. You can cut it into an infinite number of pieces. Of course, you observe infinite.
But what about when you get down to the atom? Do atoms exist?
Do we really need to go down this path?
Okay, so
I find
it's just like it's the stupidest
Who the fuck cares?
ever. It's like we don't observe infinite.
No one fucking cares.
Please, can we let me?
I will clarify.
Just go along with the questioning, please.
All right.
If we're being intellectually honest, then the challenges are great. The challenges are useful. I will amend my statement. A physical object with mass, it would not have infinite mass or infinite dimensionality. That is as clear as I can be. You can obviously divide anything up an infinite number of times, and that is the math portion of what I was describing. So, but that's not what I'm specifically talking about right now. So infinite dimensionality, infinite mass, we don't observe that in reality. Is that something that we can agree with?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Great. So we've got like the foundations are out of the way. So we're dealing with an object that isn't infinite, that has a shape in 3D space, correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay, so for all known objects that we are aware of that are orientable, all of them but a select few have edges or vertices or some kind of side to them, as it were.
You talking about things in the sky? What?
No, I'm talking about the shape of the Earth right now. I'm not talking about anything else. Shape of the Earth. But as a rule, in geometry, all objects have a shape, and the shape is described by usually how many sides they are, whether they have an edge or something like that. It's the properties of the objects. And I can safely eliminate 99% of all objects, squares, polyhedrons, polygons, pyramids, triangles, all of these, because they all have edges or sides or a vertex that these two lines or edges meet at. And none of that has ever empirically been observed to be true about the Earth. We've never fallen off an edge. We've never noticed anything about this.
So
can we safely say that is true?
The way that when you say edge, yes, you can say that's true. But I have a quick question for you. Do you think that's what I think? That the edge is something you would fall off of? Because the edge is not an edge. The edge, there is no edge as far as I'm concerned. It would be the walls of the container around us that hold gas pressure in.
Sure, that would be a border or a terminator towards the of the shape. So if you were saying, yeah, there's a wall, then and it's an enclosure, then we can safely say, okay, well, if there's an enclosure, then the object that we're on must have a border, must have an edge where this wall meets, and we could say that. Correct?
Yeah, where the ceiling hits the ground.
Sure, perfect. And has that ever been observed anywhere?
I guess I'd have to be careful with how I answer this, because my honest answer, I suppose, would be, in my opinion, more than likely yes, but I think that whoever would have done that would have no interest in telling you or me.
Okay, then I can move on to the next question that I have, if that is your true answer, which is, do you believe that we have, I say the word mapped because it's the colloquial that is most relevant here, but do you believe we have mapped the entire surface of the object, the 3D object in 3D space that we live on?
We, as in you and I,
when
ordinary good people?
When I use the term we, I mean humans as a society in general.
Okay, the human species, yes.
Okay,
but again, I think those of us that may have mapped out the outer parts or certain parts may have kept some information from us.
But that would be discoverable easily because...
Well, no, you said discoverable easily. No. The Antarctic Treaty would make that not discoverable easily.
So by process of elimination, then, if we know the surface of everything but the area that is enclosed by the Antarctic Treaty, we still have 75-80% of the information of the shape of the object wrong, correct?
70. Wait, say that last part again.
So if you have contentions with the Antarctica, and you say, well, no, we're not there. There's a treaty, something in place, whatever you want to say, past the 66th parallel, whatever. That's fine. Then we can safely say, well, we have data for every other place on Earth, so we can use that data and just you know how you can, if you take a circle and you take a slice out of the pie, you still know that the other percentage of the pie
Okay.
is there. So you can make a derived answer about the shape of the entire pie based off of what's missing and what's there, right?
Yes, except for how far away the edge of the container is. So yes, for the most part, yes, I agree with you.
Okay, so we have mapped the entire surface of the Earth to the best of your knowledge, minus the area around the Antarctic Circle or the Antarctica. I'll give you that. That's fine. What shape does that comport? The mapped surface of the Earth that we have available to us.
Are you asking me the shape of the Earth?
I'm asking you what shape does it make?
Flat, as far as I can tell.
Flat, as far as you can tell.
Flat's not a shape.
Yeah, flat.
Yeah. Let me say a disc shape. Like a record on a record player.
That's fine. Is there distortion on this?
You mean topography?
I'm talking about distance observations on the map surface that we have. Is there distortion on it?
Depends on the map, I guess.
Sure.
What are you getting at here?
Well, I'm just asking you questions. We're going through this critical thinking thought process, which is if the map surface that we have minus Antarctica, are there any distortions on any map? I'm giving you any map. It doesn't matter.
Can you define distortion?
Distortion means that anything that isn't true scale 1-to-1. So like if I'm in a house and I draw a blueprint of my house, I should be able to, with a 1-to-1 scale, be able to go wherever I've drawn and be precisely where I intend to be.
You're talking about the azimuthal equidistance map, that thing?
I am saying any map that you wish to use. Are there distortions in any of them?
No.
There are no distortions in any maps.
No.
Okay. So this is where I will pause our conversation because I don't want to tell you you're wrong, but I do want to say that I would like you to. We can stop here, and I would like you to do your own research, which is what flat earthers say they do. So I'm challenging you on this to do that. I would like for you to look up maps in general, specifically of the Earth, because that's what we're talking about. And I want you to find one that either two things: either find one that isn't distorted, like you say they aren't, which is fine, or I would like you to discover a reference that supports your statement. Because
thing is, Google has a monopoly on maps.
You can use any. You can go to a library.
I got a map for you.
They've been collecting these maps for years.
Are you in front of a computer right now?
I am on my phone.
Oh, we have it's kind of unfair.
I mean, does your phone have internet access right now? Can you use it for a second?
And we have censorship going on. People scrubbing evidence.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
a valid
unfair.
point too.
Bring the ongoing conversation at the moment.
It's unfair, Kurt.
But just go to duckduckgo.com and type in USGS world map.
It's just unfair.
And tell me what the second image is that comes up.
Just stop breathing.
So I'm sorry.
It's unfair.
USGS map.
It's unfair.
It's rigged against us.
So
USGS world map.
Here's an easy one. This is very easy to do. All right, pull up the AE map and the distance from Santiago, Chile to Sydney, Australia.
No, that's not what this is about. This is about Orion supplying a map with no distortion.
Right.
So what map specifically? I see quite a few here.
It's the second thing that shows up in the images section. Do you see it?
It's the one with that looks like Antarctica has been splayed around the edges or around the circumference.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That map doesn't have distortion. Is that what you're saying?
You tell me. I don't think so.
Look at Australia.
So so when you say look at Australia and all that, that's fine, peanut gallery. But do you know what style of map this is?
One done by the United States Geological Survey. That's why it came up when you typed that in.
That's the
So for clarification, that is the azimuthal projection map. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So do you know what a projection is when we talk about maps?
Oh, wait a second. You said projection?
That is
No,
what that is.
no. I'm sorry. I thought you said something else. I disagree.
Disagree.
I don't know what that means. I never heard that term before.
So why are you disagreeing if you don't know what the term means?
Oh, because I don't know, because that's not, I know it to be more of the azimuthal equidistance map.
Yeah, the
Isn't that a different one?
That's fine. It is still a projection map.
Same thing.
Okay.
So again, we're having an intellectually honest conversation here, and so far you've been great. And I've conceded points to you, like sure, we don't know about Antarctica, that's fine. But when you disagree with a point because you don't understand what the word means, I will say, well, instead of disagreeing, why don't you look up what a projection map is? Can you do that for me?
Sure. Give me a second.
Specifically,
Can you just tell me?
Specifically,
Why don't you just tell him, dude?
I mean,
Yeah, say it.
So, all right, to the peanut gallery person. First off, yes, I can just tell him. But we have been, quote unquote, just telling him for the past hour. And I would
Tell
rather
everyone. Don't make us
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, don't make everybody look it up.
no one else here, I could be wrong, but no one else
Dude,
here.
you're on YouTube,
doesn't know
man.
what
Just
it is.
tell it.
Yeah, I listen in all the time. I rarely talk on here, but I listen all the time. Tell us.
So the map you just gave is the azimuthal equidistant projection map. And that map, along with every other map of Earth, is a projection map. And by definition, a projection map is when you take a 3D object, specifically in this case a sphere, and you project the surface of the sphere onto a flat surface.
Now, I've heard people say the exact opposite. So how do I know who's lying and who's telling the truth? Tell me.
Go look it up.
Thought that was
look it
UV
up. That
mapping.
wouldn't tell me. I'd have to do some ground measurements in order to know who's lying, don't you think?
So
Yeah,
when
no.
we say it is a projection map, it is a style of putting the images, the map itself, onto a flat surface. It's not a question of someone's being devious. It is literally how the map is created. So when you say
Well, the AE map doesn't work anyway. You understand that it has inherent flaws, right? That's why they don't use it. That's why they don't claim it as their model.
Where the discussion heading towards, the discovery for him of that.
Right. So yeah, this whole thing is like we I don't want to say we sidecarred here, but we sidecarred into the surface and the mapping because of Antarctica.
Yeah. You guys still haven't really told me how you figured out the radius value, though.
We derailed the whole thing
Of the
was
Earth.
about the radius value. The whole thing was about the shape of the Earth. We derailed off that because we went on to the Antarctic thing, which was fine. It was when I even mentioned it, it was kind of like a sidecar on it, but it still you arrive at a conclusion, which is okay. Well, maps are all
Yeah, I got to
projections.
take your word over these other people's words
You're
about
not gonna take my
projections.
word. We just sat here and agreed on every point, and the ones that we didn't
No,
agree
no,
on.
no. Yeah, we agree on every point, but the conclusion you came to is someone's taking a globe and putting it on a disc, and then these other people here are saying, "Oh no, they're taking a disc and putting it on a globe." And I'm like, okay,
well,
we can
then-
measure the ground and figure this out. So can we go back to measuring the ground? But you guys are always talking about this magical refraction stuff, and I was trying to ask you, so when does this magical refraction cease to work? And you guys didn't give me any distance on that. So
you sidecar because you said that map was accurate 1-to-1, and the point that I was bringing up, but I just went silent, and I'm not going to anymore, was you can take the distance from Sydney, Australia to Santiago, Chile. We know the known distance to that. How long it takes to fly from those airports, how far it is to go from port to port, but it's 3 times the distance on that AE projection than it is in reality. That is the flaw in that map.
Yeah, that is a very good. We had to get you. Jesus, I fucking hate fun sometimes. Yeah, we had to get you to the understanding of the projection map and the one that you said that you were 100% cool with as what the Earth looked like.
So what's the radius of the ball Earth?
Well, what's that got to do with the maps we're talking about?
You're just jumping right back.
Well,
to
it's because you can just argue until the cows come home with these maps, and we're never going to get any definite proof.
Well,
so I just want to talk about definite proof.
If you don't want to talk about the maps, then that's fine. We left off with the shape of the Earth as it couldn't have any edge or vertices. There's only 2 or 3 possible ones I'm aware of. That's a sphere, that's a donut, and that's a fucking Mobius strip. And we know it's not a Mobius strip. We don't see the other side of a donut, so we know it's not a donut. So it's a sphere. It's critical thinking, and it's geometry. It's just those.
It's what you've been told. It's all you've ever known. I know the
I've
feeling.
told. What other option is there, man? 3D
It
physical.
could be
shape.
flat and stationary. It could
Flat
be inside of a container.
So if it's flat and stationary, how deep is it? Because it has dimensionality, right? And we have to be able to.
I can answer that. I can answer that. So somebody in Russia went down 7.8 miles once back in the 1980s, and nobody's ever gone that far down since then. So we don't know what's beyond that. Under that.
Perfect.
So, at least so beyond that, the answer is I don't know, and nobody else does.
So your answer is at least 8 miles.
At least 8 miles deep. That's perfect. What about the? So you say that there's a border where the dome hits the ground. What's the dimensionality of what's enclosed inside that dome?
Oh, I'd like to know that myself. I'm wondering that all the time.
Well, that's not a really good answer then. Can you say at least it is something? At least a.
Oh yeah, I could. Well, I could give you a rough guess. So let's say. I'd just say the diameter is probably 20,000 miles. I don't know if that would make the circumference.
I'm curious about.
I just always guess the diameter is about 20,000 miles, something around there.
I have a question about your conclusion that nobody has been further.
That's not really a conclusion of mine. Like I don't know how far out it goes. So you're saying conclusion that's no one gone further. That's not. No. I'm not coming to any conclusion about anything about that.
But we have kind of come to that conclusion though, because we talked about we've been everywhere and we've mapped the surface of the Earth, and you agreed that we had. So people going out further.
Yeah, again, going by what other people have said, like I mean, it could extend a bit further, out. Like I mean, the ice could go for a good 1,000, 2,000 miles, and then you hit the edge of the container. I mean, or it could just go out 500 miles. I mean.
Are you sure?
How the hell are you going to know? How the hell am I going to know? Somebody else probably figured it out, but they're not telling you, and they're not telling me.
Are you sure you want to stick with a diameter of 20,000 because that means that?
What do you mean stick with? It's a guess. What do you mean stick with? It's a guess.
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to guess with that? Because now now your equator is about 50% too large.
No, the equator would be the same. I'm talking about the.
No, it would not.
Oh! You're looking at the map though. So yeah. So when you're looking at that map that I pulled up, so what I'm saying is, putting aside that map, there could be more ice beyond. What I'm saying is, if there's lots more ice. What I'm saying is, I'm not debating the size of the equator, whatever. What I'm saying is, if there's a lot more ice beyond the oceans, beyond the edge of Antarctica, like a lot more ice, then it could be, a lot bigger diameter as far as the container that we're in. If the container is
from the North
spherical.
Pole to the equator, what is that? From the North Pole to the equator, what does that do? What is it?
I don't know. Let's take a look. I think it's like, I don't know, 3,000 miles. 4,000? No, more than that. More like 5,000 miles.
Quite a bit more than that.
Okay, well, yeah. Can you make a ground measurement so you can stop telling me fairy tales? I grew out of Harry Potter a long time ago.
They can make a straight line great circle course over water. Is it the North Pole? Is it from the rough area of the North Pole to the equator? It's not that difficult.
Yeah, it's not that difficult to measure the ground. Can you measure the ground?
Yeah, we can. We've measured Australia. Many Australians.
Okay, so can you tell me how far magical refraction?
I am still talking. Why are you interrupting me? We have measured Australia.
Measured Australia.
Listen. Be quiet. I'm talking. We've measured Australia. Many Australians have driven across it. It's half the size that it is on your map. How do you account for that?
Shoreline to another and demonstrate to me curvature, or
so how you account for that is to totally ignore my question.
Yeah, because it's over land and land has topography, which makes your question irrelevant.
So you think it's possible that Australia is actually 4,000 miles across and not 2,000 miles across, and nobody's noticed? They all still think it's 2,000 miles across.
No, I wouldn't say it's either.
In reality, it's 4,000. That's what you're saying. You've spotted it.
I wouldn't say it's either.
You've spotted it on the AE map, but the Australians haven't. Does this seem like a likely scenario to you?
I'm saying it could be either or somewhere in between, and that has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
So you think that people, when they use a GPS in Australia, it's just
ground positioning?
Nobody, when somebody in I don't know, a city in one side of Australia decides to drive to a city on the other side of Australia, and the sat nav says it's going to be so many miles and it's going to take you so long. It's actually twice as far, and that hasn't spotted it somehow. Nobody notices it takes them twice as long to get there, that they use twice as much fuel. No people in Australia have ever spotted it.
Not a word you said has any relevance. Not a word you said has any relevance.
Well, it's your map.
Because it's not measuring curvature. You're not measuring the shape. You are not measuring the shape.
We weren't talking about curvature or me measuring it.
Oh,
we were talking about,
I was. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
We were talking about your map, which you claimed had no distortions. And yet it has an Australia, which is twice the width of the actual Australia, more than twice the width, I think.
All right, let's end this really quickly. It's not my map. I don't care about the map. I just want to see evidence of curvature.
It was your map.
See evidence of
the map that you provided.
Well, it's a USGS map, but whatever.
Right. And they say it has distortions and it's...
Yeah, but I'm not... The point is, I'm not married to it. I'm not going to put a ring on its finger. I'm not married to the damn thing. What I am married to, though, is the concept of you demonstrating curvature.
Another way of saying that is, I was wrong. This map does have distortions. Now I'd like to talk about a completely new subject.
I'm saying it might not. I'm not saying it has distortions. You're saying that.
If it might, then, in the case that it might, how do you account for Australians not noticing it?
In the case that it might,
you're saying it might be true.
East, west, and north, south.
So you're asking me if it was true, then
the difference east, west, north, south, because topography would be in both directions. So you can't blame topography. And you said this map represented what you think the shape of the Earth is. You actually said that. And now you're furiously trying to backpedal.
It doesn't matter. Can you guys show me some observations over water?
That you said on here represents what you think the shape of the Earth is.
All right. I'll give it some. You know what? Yeah. You know what? That map. Forget about it. Garbage. Terrible. It's terrible. It's awful. I hate it. You're right. It's a really stupid map. Okay. Now, next subject. Can you guys show me a great way of measuring curvature over water from one shoreline to another?
Before we go on to that, so let's look at the track of the score. So far, all I've heard from you is, I don't know.
The score? The score? No. There's no score. We're determining the shape of the Earth. There's no score. This is not a fucking cricket game.
When he was trying to walk you through a logical argument from basics about what possibilities could be, you didn't provide any information to those. You were just answering multi-choice questions, and you did quite well with that. But when you volunteered some information, or even many times when you were asked to volunteer some information, you either said, I don't know. And the one thing you did venture was that the equidistant azimuthal projection represented the shape that you thought the Earth was. And now you're distancing yourself from that. So as far as I can see,
I'm not distancing myself from it.
Your total input to this conversation has been nothing. You don't know anything. You don't know nothing.
Yeah, and just like you guys demonstrating curvature, you input nothing.
You're dissing the whole of science and knowledge with a basis of nothing. The basis of I don't know. And yet somehow that qualifies you to dismiss everything out of hand. How does that work exactly? You know,
That's how
you
science
having
got started.
zero knowledge, zero
matter.
logical capabilities. How does it work? It's curious.
It's easy.
Yeah,
It's
that's how science got started, dude.
claims without evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
We don't give a shit what you think. That's how it works.
And that's how science literally got started.
Ask your question about curvature, Orion. Go ahead.
So, how far can you see one shoreline from one shoreline to another shoreline?
Depends on the atmospheric conditions.
I wouldn't like to swim it.
Keep talking about distances to swim. Dear God, you guys are clouds. Fucking clouds. I like you guys with your fucking clouds.
How far can you see? How long's a bit of string? How wet is water? How up is up?
Take the mic out of your
I don't want any green eggs and ham, Sam. I don't want any of those goddamn green eggs and ham.
Dude,
let's move.
You're talking your mic too much. You need to be muted. You have to talk normally.
Yeah, and Doctor.
I do have a question for Ryan. Is it with you dismissing measurements across Australia and distance measurements? How
It's
exactly
over land, dude. Do it over
how
water.
exactly are you going to arrive at this exploration of the shape of the Earth if you're just dismissing these measurements of distance?
Because you're not measuring the ground, you're measuring distance over the ground. You're not measuring the shape of the ground. You're not measuring the shape of the ground or water.
Is this guy's name Brian?
Orion.
Ryan, I'm sorry. Stop yelling into your mic, dude. Just talk normal.
Yeah, my bad.
Thank you.
You
Well,
are
how
that
exactly do you
anti-globe
think
guy,
you're
aren't
going at
Sure.
the conclusion of the shape of the Earth then?
I would use a laser and a target over a body of water.
And you don't understand the problems with laser over distance through an atmosphere, do you?
How would you do it?
Well, this is the 21st century. I would wait for one of the equinoxes. I would call up all my buddies all over the world. I'd have them stick a stick in the ground and tell me what the angle from the sun measurement is.
And use a mathematical equation.
They should all be the same, northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. And I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert. They're not going to be the same.
Yeah. And does that mathematical equation presuppose a ball or not?
There's no equation. Literally just
It's a
comparing
measurement. Measurements don't presuppose anything. Measurements.
How does a shadow determine the shape of the ground?
Details about the thing you're measuring. There is no presupposition in a measurement.
Oh, yeah, he's measuring the shadows, but he's using the shadows to calculate the radius, right?
Nope.
Orion.
Measurements.
Orion.
So I'm just asking how you find the radius. Like, how do you find the radius without looking at the sky?
Why are you hung up on the radius, brother? You're just looking for the shape, right? Like you can have
It's the same thing, dude. Are we talking about the same thing? That's the same fucking thing.
Radiuses. You can have a sphere with a million different radiuses. Why are you hung up on the radius? Hell, your flat Earth has a radius.
Where's the radius, dude?
You could have a sphere with a billion different radiuses?
There's a difference between distance and curvature.
Am I hearing this?
Yeah, trust me, you're hearing it. These guys are special kind of stupid. You're
Please
hearing
choose
correctly.
your words carefully.
Orion, let me ask you something.
Seriously, where does the conversation go after that?
Orion, let me ask you something, because you said that this mathematical formula presupposes the radius. So where is the radius value when you're measuring the angle of a shadow?
No, I didn't say it presupposes a radius. I said it presupposes a sphere. I said it presupposes a ball. Okay, if you misheard me, whether or not I misspoke or you misheard me, now I'm saying it presupposes a ball. Are we clear?
No, it doesn't.
That's fine.
Question for Ryan. The same question is, how do you actually check whether it is a presupposition or not?
Good question.
Can you tell me the equation?
I bet you don't even know what a presupposition is. Probably shouldn't bother.
Supposing it before you discovered it.
So the only thing you're presupposing is that you're on a shape. And if you remember our little exercise, we both agreed we live on a shape.
Yes, a shape that you haven't determined yet.
That's what this measurement does. It helps you determine which shape that is.
We're assuming it's the shape that we're on.
The shape was determined. The shape was well determined, and it isn't a presupposition. Eratosthenes had several reasons to believe that the Earth was spherical, and these are documented.
Name one of them.
This is not a presupposition. It's a conclusion that was reasoned to from the evidence, observed evidence.
Yeah, you can take Eratosthenes' experiment and add 1,000. You can add as many data points as you have friends around the world, and you can do his experiment and arrive at the conclusion that the rest of us already know. But you can do this for yourself in the 21st century via Zoom, and the fact that you can have a conversation in instantaneous real time with anyone anywhere. He would have killed
satellites, right?
There's a difference between distance and curvature.
Nothing to do with satellites.
No.
And Slice Barcane did this with Slice Barcane did this same thing a couple years ago with 23 people in 7 different countries.
Yeah, and
no presupposition, just data points.
Yep. And when they mapped the data when they mapped the data points out for a flat Earth, you wound up with about 17 different locations for the sun.
And where is the presupposition of a shape when what you are doing is measuring the height of a stick above the ground and the length of the shadow from the stick in the ground? These are two measurements of at length. This is from which you derive a sun angle. There is no reference to anything round or even a suggestion of a shape from that at all.
You mean spherical?
There is no reference to a shape at all of any sort. It's two measurements of length, linear, straight.
Of light.
The light coming from the sun, yes.
Yeah, you might want to.
So it's the sun.
We don't know if the sun is a light or not.
Yes, we do. The sun is a light. If you don't think the sun is a light, then go out to when the sun is shining and put your face to it and look and see what you see.
If it can light something up, an object.
If the sun isn't a light, feel free to put a magnifying glass up there and see. If it's not light, it won't burn your shit.
Did you ask the sun what it is?
No, idiot. We look and see what the sun is. It's obviously a light.
Are you presupposing the shape of the light?
We don't need the shape of the light. It's just the point source.
Yeah, what shape is it?
This was positively enlightening. But
Look, otherwise you'll burn your freaking eyes out.
That's not true. You ever heard of sun gazing?
Well, go ahead and do it. You do it all you want.
Well, I don't do it.
Well, you should, because then you'd cook your brain at least, and maybe you'd be. Well, this is Bon Jovi. I'm sorry, Bon Jovi. I'm sorry. I know not to.
It's John Poby.
It doesn't matter.
There's a man that lived like 100 years in India.
Like sun gaze he didn't eat either.
I was just going to talk about that. He
Yeah.
lived longer than 100 years.
This man was put under like scientific conditions and studied.
Yeah, I gotta look at that one.
He took the energy.
Yeah, they watched him on tape.
Did he?
For like 2 weeks, he didn't have any water, no food.
Did he breathe out?
Are you talking
He
about
was
the guy
breathing.
that sustained himself upon a rock that he had for minerals, and he actually utilized the bath water that he was utilizing as his form of moisture? Or are you talking about somebody else?
The rock in the
Did he have
middle-
solar panels on him?
No, he used to go up to the mountains and look into the sun, and that's how he gained his nutrients.
He didn't look into the sun. He sat.
Oh
and he
man, I
just-
can't believe we're talking
sun
about some
gazing.
dude, sun gazing dude.
He's talking about breatharians.
No,
yeah,
I'm
which is
talking about
totally
this
complete
Indian
shit. Indian guy.
You could type it into YouTube. Type it in.
Well,
There's
well,
also an
if-
Indian guy that
well,
didn't bathe for 60 years.
No, this
Well, that-
guy didn't eat or drink water for 60 years, 70 years.
Okay, but
There's
did he
another one
breathe?
that-
If he
there's another one
breathed,
that had his arm in the air for 50 years. That's the thing, he's just got his arm in the air all the time.
yeah, there's proof for that one.
Dude, if you exhale carbon dioxide, then you're losing mass.
Exactly. That's what I was
Not
trying to
as
bring
their
up.
arm in the air.